States. And I think what we are hoping for is that we want to make sure that we never get to that point, and we want to make sure that we are moving in all of our economic research and our global positions to avoid any such confrontation and for that question to even arise.
Iran and the United States are holding talks for a third time as the Trump administration works to delay Tehran's nuclear program and is deploying a massive number of aircraft and warships to the region. The military buildup has raised concerns about possible new U.S. strikes on Iran at a time when its theocratic leadership has come under pressure from street protests. A short while ago, Foreign Minister Badr al-Busaidi of Oman, which is hosting the talks, emerged from this hotel behind me and gave a thumbs up when asked if he was hopeful for a deal. His motorcade then crossed the lake here in Geneva to the residence of the Omani ambassador, where President Donald Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff and Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi were leading teams holding indirect, not face-to-face, talks. The standoff centers on U.S. demands that Iran halt enrichment of uranium that could be used in a nuclear bomb or stop its production of long-range missiles. Iran's government has long insisted its nuclear program is for peaceful purposes to generate electricity for civilian use. Concerns are that if no deal is struck, the United States may use military action to try to get its way.
Welcome to the American News Network. This is your host, Frankie Zaza, looking at what today has on the agenda for us. It is deadline day for Iran. I don't think that Trump's going to allow this place very much longer in terms of this kind of pseudo negotiation that the Iranians are famous for. And they're good negotiators. Let's not take anything away from them. You might ask the question, why is the negotiation handled between a couple of different parties in different places? This is fantastic strategy on the Iranians' part to elongate the process, which we would go ahead and answer yes or no to if there's a regime change or not. This is a way to extend it out. In fact, it's gone out now for about 45 years. I remember the Carter administration caving into the Ayatollah Khomeini's regime change, as well as the capture of our famous Marines that were held for over 400 days there in Iran. Terrible situation, weak leadership.
But first, there's this. The U.S. and Iran holding a third round of nuclear talks in Geneva today, negotiating the future of Tehran's nuclear program as the U.S. builds up its military force in the region. President Trump warning bad things, quote unquote, could happen if Tehran does not agree to a deal, maintaining he prefers a diplomatic solution, something he told me back in Davos and has been saying repeatedly. Iran's foreign minister, meanwhile, says an agreement is, quote, within reach. Meanwhile, NATO shifting air surveillance toward Iran, reflecting growing concerns over a potential U.S.-led military campaign. Joining me now, live from Brussels, is U.S. Ambassador to NATO, Matthew Whitaker. Ambassador, always a pleasure. Thanks very much for being here. It feels like things are spiking, the tensions rising. Are we going to see strikes on Iran?
Well, first of all, President Trump was clear in the State of the Union that he prefers diplomacy, but he has all the options on the table and he holds all the cards. I mean, we've demonstrated in Midnight Hammer that when President Trump draws a red line, that he's willing to enforce that. And he's right, that would be a bad day for Iran if we get to a kinetic solution. But the options are on the table right now to make a diplomatic deal, to agree to never have a nuclear weapon, because we cannot let the #1 state sponsor of terrorism and a real menace to the region have capabilities to bring nuclear Armageddon. And so we just have to get this resolved diplomatically. But again, President Trump is in a position of strength right now to negotiate this deal.
So here's the opinion of other people as well. What do you think? Leave me a comment below and tell me what you think. I think we should go in and bomb these guys right after the negotiation. Nope, not acceptable. Time to come to grips with the reality that we don't want the Iranian regime any longer in control. Close it. Game over.
How do our NATO allies feel about all of this?
Allies in the region and in Europe here that are willing to support us in whatever it takes.
Well, look, I'm worried about, and the viewers are worried about Russia and China. Meanwhile, look at that. I want to get your take.
would and should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
You know, I think that this is such a, you know, I think that this is this is, of course, a very longstanding policy of the United States. And I think what we are hoping for is that we want to make sure that we never get to that point, and we want to make sure that we are moving in all of our economic, research, and our global positions to avoid any such confrontation and for that question to even arise.
AOC with that word salad blows my mind. This is on the world stage. Chick, hit the road. Don't talk if this is what you're going to say. And represent America. Represent Americans. Holy cow. If you disagree with me, leave me a comment down below. If you agree with me, tell me you agree. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel. We'd appreciate it. Doesn't cost you a dime. Doesn't cost you anything. Just hit the subscribe. Appreciate it.
Well, you were sitting there, Ambassador. What were you thinking?
I think there's an obvious answer to that question. First of all, it's about deterrence, defense, and peace through strength.
Was she not briefed on that?
I don't know what her preparation was for that, but I think that the United States, through Democrats and Republicans, have been very clear about where that the United States is on that position. And so I don't know if she just couldn't find the right words or if she just wasn't prepared.
Thank you for being a part of American News Network. We appreciate you tuning in. Leave a comment, subscribe to the channel.